Hello, YouTube. Facebook has already been introduced. Dave Smalley Geeks Garage. Okay, today, trying to build a DIY table saw. This is a DIY table saw cross-cut sled. So there's the blade, and it would run this way. So the whole idea is I put a piece of work here, clamp it in place, cut it, yabba dabba do. What I'm attempting to do is make sure that this fence is as square as possible with this blade. So I've taken a little clamp and I've clamped my square to it, and I've pushed this over here, and I've done it as eyeball accurate as I can. I think it's pretty accurate. There's a slot here, as you can probably see, so that's called the kerf, and you might be able to see that I cut out this little opening here for my clamp that's kind of disassembled at the moment. The parts are in there. So anyway, this edge is lined up as exactly as possible with this side of the kerf, so I quickly have a reference to tell, you know, when I'm lined up properly with whatever piece of wood I put in here. Alright, so with that said, I can now get this out of the way. Alright, these little clamp things, they're cheap at Harbor Freight, they are worth it. I don't know, it's like $2 for two or something. Pretty cool. Alright, let's get our square out of the way. Alright, so we'll be cutting on that board in a minute. What I've done, alright, I've eyeballed it as square as I can. Now, I've already got holes drilled over here that I think I described before. This is going to be my pivot point, be right down in here somewhere. Where I will, if I have a problem, I will have to move this forward or back. I have 5 other pre-drilled and countersunk holes ready to go over here. Alright, so I'm in the first position now. I'm gonna put what's called a pilot drill, the drill that's just underneath the thread size. You know, the threads are like this, so and there's already a countersunk hole underneath here. So I'm going to drill the pilot drill, and then I'm going to put in a screw. Now come over here, and in position 1, the very first position, the furthest over, I'm going to pilot drill and screw. I'm doing them as separate operations now, because if I were to pilot hole, screw, that could move it over, and then this pilot hole is kind of fighting itself. So I'm going to pilot hole screw, it's in place. Pilot hole screw. This will have less chance of me having them fight each other. Okay, stop talking, start working. Get a little pilot hole. Alright. Let's see if I can make this happen. I've got this all marked with tape, so I kind of laid out what to do earlier. Alright, and trying to hold it as square and straight as I can. There we go. Alright, pilot hole is drilled. Here's my little driver. These things are great, man. I think I bought this on Amazon. Popo Man was the cheapest one. I think it's technically a nut driver, drill nut driver. It was, if I remember correctly, well under $100. And I was concerned that it wouldn't match up to the other Black & Deckers and DeWalt's, and guess what? It's just as good. I've had it almost a year now, and very, very, very happy with the little beast. So, if it's got a weakness, I haven't found it. Okay, let's get her in here. And I just put it in lightly. I didn't crank it down. Just there. Okay, so we have our pivot point if we need it. I hope it'll be beautiful. I got this whole process. Oh, I am using the LTD Woodworks 5-cut method. I know we're talking about the 5 cuts in a while, but this guy, I've looked at dozens. Thank you, YouTube. I really like YouTube for learning. It's YouTube University. Looked at dozens of videos on table saw, sled, fence alignment, and it appears this 5-cut method is the very most accurate of them all. And you can watch videos up to 40 minutes long. The original guy who came up with this, down to 5 minutes long, which seems to be a much simpler process. But the formulas were all just difficult enough to screw up. And so what I like about this guy, LTD Woodworks, I'm going to be using his method. It's a very straightforward way of just standard arithmetic. Not a bunch of funky stuff. I've put it into a spreadsheet that's sitting there on my little laptop where Facebook is live streaming right now, so we'll pop over there when it comes time for that. Alright, so the bottom line, my pivot is done. My first adjustment point is going in. So let's get that in here. So that's point 0. Got that marked, and that should be right here. Trying to be straight. Here we go. All right. Just pilot hole. This can be really hot. So, oops, it can melt through plastic at times, so I got to be careful when I use it. Usually in that quick one cut it won't, but I've been surprised how often it'll melt plastic. Get a little screw. I love these construction screws, man. These things are really nice. I was a stainless steel screw guy before I found out about these things. I like them. Ooh, stop that. There we go. Okay. Nice and secure. So let's get everything off the table. It's not being cut. Now comes the 5-cut method. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, this should be cool by now. Yep. But still warm. These, do not buy these. I got these at Harbor Freight for like $10 or $12 or something. Dial caliper. This is the least accurate dial caliper I've ever. It's just a piece of junk. But it does have a relatively accurate dial. Look at this. I'm at 0 and it's at 88. So 88 here is 0 there, and there's no way to turn this to adjust it. But what this is going to be is perfectly good to do is give me the difference between, I'm going to measure something here and measure something here, and I will know the difference between them. I don't care what the actual measurement is. This will work for that. Alright, so put this away. Now, I've labeled my board, my scrap wood, 1, 5, 2, 3, 4. And what that means is I probably labeled it wrong. No, I'm good. Okay, so I'm doing it from this side. But most of my cutting I plan to be doing with the feed coming this way and the measurement over here. So this will be the raw feed coming in, and this will be the measured item that I want to end up with. Alright, so let's walk through the process where we do it. So what I'm going to do is just take a thin cut, just enough so I go from end to end off of 1. This is the cut I just cut. So I turn that to the fence. Do number 2 again, just the thinnest cut to get all the way from one end to the other. Thinnest cut all the way under the other. then it's cut all the way to one end to the other. Now this one, I need to end up with a piece of scrap, whatever I need to cut off something top to bottom that's easy to measure. I will make it probably, what I'm holding up here is probably 3/4 of an inch. So that's approximately the size that I'll make. Then I'll be measuring the top of it and the bottom of it. Oh, okay. Some of the things that I need to know. So I'm going to cut this piece off and I'll be measuring top and bottom. And I just realized I got to do something here. This formula that we'll be using in a minute, TD Woodworks formula, requires me to know the length between this measurement and this measurement. So I marked off exactly 12 inches, 1 foot. But I didn't mark it all the way across. I marked it way back over here. So let's get our little square dude and mark that all the way across, because I'll be cutting that off and it's smarter to just have it on there. Okay, let's get that accurate. Yep. As soon as I get it accurate, I drop it. Okay. And make sure the point is in the right spot. Yes, it is. And there we go. Same deal over here. Good, yep. Okay, so there's my 1 foot mark. So I'll be measuring, I'll cut this off and I'll measure exactly there and there. It'd be really wonderful if there was no difference. If there's no difference, I'm done. If there's a difference, I think. Okay, get that back over there. Alright, so that's more. Now, more blah blah blah. I've cut this piece off, I've measured top, I've measured bottom, I know this is 1 foot. From the pivot point, I have marked a spot right here that is 2 feet. So if I am to adjust, this will be my reference to adjust to, the 2 foot mark. Okay, it's time to stop talking and start cutting. We good here? Yeah, this is good. I no longer need these on here. This was in place in order to secure this. This is not going to hurt me to have this here. Ooh. Ooh, I just realized something. Okay, so this is, if you watched a previous video, you saw when I cut this groove. This will be the first time that I'm cutting into the fence. And I want this surface of the fence to come just beyond the center line of the saw, so that everything that I cut, I can have the full height of the saw. If I have it over here, I might not have the full length. So I need to make sure that it goes past the center, and I need to see what happens over here. I typically try to have as little on the table as humanly possible when I'm cutting, but I think I'm going to leave this set up on here just to keep this all nice and secure. I could take this off, but it's a little bit of a hassle to set this up. I don't have clamps big enough to go up underneath the table to hold where I want it to. So it's a little bit of hassle to set this up and balance it. So I'm going to leave it in place. I'll make this cut, measure it up. If I need to move, then I can loosen this. Actually, I can loosen this ever so slightly. Remember, I'll take this off. I'll need to tap it this way or this way, and that will hold everything nice and secure as I screw it back in. Okay, so I think I'm ready to go. Here's how I'm going to operate it. I've got my hands back here nice and safe. This should come to a stop when it hits that. And so with that, before I play with this guy, I just thought of a reason to take this off. I want my little clamp dude back. Okay. Change your plans. Alright, so let's get back to work. We turn the saw on, we cut into here. Turn the saw off, reevaluate. Then we start mounting all this stuff up. So all I'm going to do now is cut this initial slot in here just to see where it stops, make sure everything seems normal. I'll probably just have to mount all this again. Yeah, oops, see how it's dancing? Good clamps. I like those clamps. Nothing wrong with them. I wish I had some longer. But one can only afford what one can afford. Okay, so this is rattly. Just roly-poly. Alright, so there's only one screw, and this is a bit roly-poly. Don't like that. But for now, all I'm concerned with is square this way. I will deal with square this way shortly. That's part of why the roly-poly is acceptable. Alright, so let's get this down so you guys can see. Again, what we're going to do is just make this cut. Alright, let's get everything plugged in. Okay. I like these extension cords where it glows when you got power. That just to me makes a lot of sense. Alright, so every time I go to plug one of these things in, because I've got this trigger locked on, as I do this, I'm ready to yank it if I hear that thing start. It didn't start. Good idea. Alright, so it's not plugged in over here. Alright, so again, I'm going to go through that, ready to pull it out if it starts up. And it did not start up. Good. Alright, groovy. Okay. Oh, don't forget your face shield. Remember? Get your face shield. Alright, click it on. Oh, it's staying up. See, it doesn't stay up. There it goes. If I don't move, there you go. Alright, so here we go. Gonna start her up, make that cut, pull it back, stop, reevaluate. Comfortable. What's it look like? Groovy. Oh, this. Wow, that's like 1 inch, if an inch. What is that? That's not much. Ain't much. Just 7/8 of an inch. Not even a full inch. Oh boy. Yeah, well, that's life. Maybe I can put a bigger blade in it sometime. But it'll do the 1/2 inch stuff that I'm looking to do. I'm looking to do a bunch of stuff about that big. Alright, so we got our first cut. I still need to have all that available to me, so I'll leave it there. Okay, now we got to do the 5 cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's what I want. Get my little friend back here. These things are pretty cheap. I can't remember the price. They're worth it. I've got a few of these that I'll be using on this rig. I pulled that out of the way in order to clamp on top of this rail. What's really cool, you know, typically I tighten stuff down to the appropriate torque. I put it on backwards. Yeah, busy talking. That's funny. Dummy put it on backwards. Jeez. I do that. Alright, that's why you double check at the end. Alright, let's get this little guy on here. And also, what I was saying is, I'm pretty obsessive at tightening things down appropriately. Oh, this one's so short. Alright. one of the things I'm going to be doing with this is making a longer clamping arm. Let's see if this will be an appropriate length to lock that thing in place. No, doesn't even come close. Alright, so I'm going to make a longer leg here, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so let's just clamp that down like that. For now, let's get a piece of scrap. Is this appropriate? Not quite big enough. Well, I need something thicker than that. Jeez. That's fine. Okay. That's thicker. Oh, the piece that came out of here? Yeah, see, okay, see how I did that? Right, so that holds, when I tuck this in here, put that little guy down, I don't have to put my hands in there and hold it in place. It's held so I can stay back here to operate the machine from a safe distance from that blade. And I had left this here, it's naughty man. Alright, so let's get this out of here. Now, this may get in the way in a second here. Oh, I gotta pull back to this. Okay. Damn it. How far back do I have to go? Will that work? Okay, so now I can line up this side just beyond here. Click. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah. Well, all this will be clamped down nice and tight soon enough, so let's just get it. This is nice. Yeah, okay. I like the way that all lined up nice and easy. Give her a lock. We're square. We're ready to make our cut. Okay. Trying to figure out where I should hold this. Eventually I'm going to have handles here. We'll see. Alright. We're going to do 5 cuts. I just thought that I went through the trouble of making it, I should use it. My stop. Okay. So let's pull that off of there, pull that out of the way. This guy up to it. Lock her in place. Okay. Open that up. Okay, it's nice and loose. Then is that the stop? Yeah, just take that. Loosen this off. So okay, so again, the way I go, I just slide it over till it stops. Lock this. Flip this out of the way. Ooh, that was tight. Ooh. Got that there. Slide her on over till she stops. Clamp this down. Clamp this down. Oh, I gotta do a little work on this. Well, I knew it was crooked, but it comes out. Okay, and it'll be repeatable. Alright, so now we are ready to make our cut. And so this way I don't have to line it up every time I just flip that down. Alright, let's see if it works. Here we go. First real cut on this machine. reference. Bring it, pull this out of the way, put the stop down, bring it to the stop, lock it in place. Ooh, gotta be careful with that. Put the stop out of the way. So I can cut. Okay, that's section cut out of the way. Line her up. Oops. Line her up. Lock it down. Out of the way. Number 4. Making this push a little harder. Looks good. Okay, that's our 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now, number 5. Get you out of the way. Don't need you now. Now again, remember I want that 3/4 of an inch or so. I don't want to cut this too thick because I might need 5 of them. Let's try a little one will work, I think. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see what we got. Dun-dun, dun-dun. Come on, you. Okay, and again, I'm only looking for the relative size. So let's just drop her all the way up. Oops. So we use the exact same reference. I'll put it all the way in, right there. That's at, wow, right on 30. To the money. It's on 30. Aha, it's off 10. So A is 30. Ooh, I hope I did that right. Ooh, I sure hope I did that right. A is 30, B is 10. Did that come from? Oh, I turned it upside down. Dummy. Ooh, I was supposed to mark A and B. Hey, good thing I had those lines to help me. Okay, so A is 10. Do exactly the same way both sides. Yep, A is 10. B is 30. So we're off 20 thousandths of an inch. I don't trust this piece of crap, so give me a second as I make sure. there. You piece of shit. Pardon me. Alright, I'm not 100% sure what my dial is reading me. Normally it would be thousandths of an inch. I'm not 100% sure that's in thousandths of an inch. Alright, so here's the business card. Measure business card should be 20 thou. Oh shit. This reads 85.5. 91.5. That's got nothing to do with thousandths of an inch. Okay. Can't trust this piece of trash. Damn it. I've been using that for relative measurements to see if things are more or less the same or not, but I now need an actual measurement. I'm gonna go find my micrometer. See if I can remember how to read a micrometer. So get yourself a good vernier. They start at about $50. Alright, oh, here it is. No. Great, I'm not 100% sure where my micrometer is. That's, ooh, there we go. That was a 7.5. Okay, got my micrometer. This guy, back when I knew what I was doing, which I do not know nowadays, I could measure down to 2 10,000ths of an inch. Today, I will be lucky to get it right at 1,000th of an inch. Okay, there is a micrometer, affectionately known as a mic. This is shiny paper, which is best done with regular typing or writing paper. The first thing I like to do, get it in there. Bring this down a little bit, slide it a little bit. That helps clean that surface, make sure there's no dust in there. Alright, let's get a 0. There's 0. Alright, and 1 full turn is 25 thousandths of an inch. So 20 thou, 15 thou. This piece of paper is 12 thousandths of an inch, so I'll be remembering that for later. This is 12 thou. Let me write that on there right now. 12 thou is written 0.012. 12 thousandths of an inch. Okay, so that we know this is 12 thou thick. We'll be dealing with that in a minute. Now, this guy. Where are we? Cute way to get your mic open quickly. Roll it. Be careful with your mics, okay? Treat them like newborn babies. They really do need to be treated gently to remain accurate. Don't drop them. No matter what you drop in, here's a way to hold it. See my finger in there? You want to get accurate, get a micrometer. You want to get reasonably accurate, get a good vernier caliper. Okay, now again, I'm not going to obsess on exactly where this stops. I'm just going to say it is right now at 23.5 to be blunt, 23.5. So A is 23.5. Ooh. B's opening up. Okay, well, that's a lot. Oh boy, that's a lot. Yeah, I thought I could see a wedge. Holy moly, that's a hell of a lot. Alright, so now I gotta get serious. I wanted to goof off here, but it's not gonna let me goof off. Alright, so I gotta actually measure this thing carefully and get the whole number down. Get it in the right place. I'm trying to line up exactly with that 1 foot mark. Okay, so this looks like 556.556. Okay, let's use that same piece of paper. So our first, that's B. B is 0.556. Okay, there's a reason I did that. Because it's easier to close up. Okay, now we're gonna, geez, look at this. This is gonna be a big difference. Okay, this is, it's 5, no. Gotta make 100% sure. Yeah, it's been a long time since I read them, Mike, and you've got these little 25 thou divisions. I wanna make sure I'm reading this right. And that looks like 556, okay. So I've taken it out to 560 just to move it. Okay, now, right, it's at 560, so that's 550. I'm gonna take it around 1 turn to 525. I'm now at 525. A long way to go. I'm now at 0.5. I still got a ways to go. Coming up on 575. At 575 and I'm almost there. Ooh. 570. Call it 573. Notice I'm just barely putting tension on here, just enough to hold it. 570, 473. So A is 0.473. Okay, let's put that in my, and that's bad. That's terrible. That's, that is not accurate. All right, so let's try. Let's go take a look. Got my little spreadsheet sitting over here. So A. Now let me edit A. Again, 5-cut method by LTD Woodworks. 5-cut method by LTD Woodworks. And A is 0.473. 0.473. Enter. And B is 0.556. That's a huge point. I'm glad I learned this because I would have thought I was straight. My difference is 83 thousandths of an inch. You know, just over 8 hundredths of an inch. So it's 83 thou. That's terrible. So it is 1 foot. At the 2 foot mark, this is a negative number, so I have to move this forward. Okay, so it's a negative number, I have to move this way, and I have to move 41 thousandths of an inch. Okay, so 41 thou divided by 12. Equals 41 thou divided by 12. So I need 3.5 business cards. So it's 3.4, so I'll use 3 business cards to make my first move. there's one business card. 2, 3. Alright, now I gotta be, well, let's leave that one there with numbers on it. We'll probably fill that thing with numbers. I should have been more careful. Alright, so we've got 3 business cards. This should be approximately 30 some odd thou. Let's take a look. Never spinning it. I've got it set just beyond 50. So my 3 business cards measures out at, let's see, that's 50, 40, 37. And I wanted 34. So this is slightly over. Yeah, interesting. Alright, so this 3 is 37. But I don't really need to know that. I know that I'm close enough to that for now, so 37. Alright, let's think about what we're doing. I think these are safe to leave over here. Oh, I'm not cutting right now. I'm not using the mic for a while. I'm going to keep it in my pocket. I'm usually real anal about keeping it in its box, but it's over there. Alright, so remember, it's a negative number, so it has to move this way. So now the challenge is pretty straightforward. Get something with a point, a corner. There's a nice sharp point. Oh, I put this right on the 2-inch mark, dummy. That's why, because that's what I need. I need the 2-inch mark. Obviously I'll be needing this again, so I'm leaving it here. So there's my 2-inch mark is right about here. I'm going to take this corner. I'm going to take this corner, yeah, nice and easy, and get it prepared with a clamp. Who are we going to use? Oh, I need a good clamp. I need a clamp that I can really tighten down and know it's going to stay there. Those little spring clamps are not good for that job. I love these. Really impressed. Okay. Now, well, wait a minute. I need to move it that way. I need to move that way. Ah, dummy, so I need my clamp over here. Ooh, not back here. I need my clamp over here. All right, that's what to talk things out for. How in the world am I going to get that clamp over there? Oh, good. I know how. I've got a big clamp just for that. Okay, well this, oh, I hope it does. Let's see if my clamp is big enough. If not, I've got ways. Okay, so now what I want, this is the 2-inch mark right there. So what I'm going to do is clamp this here with that, whatever, some 40 some odd thou here. Right? Press it up nice and neat, clamp it there. Take this out, there should be the appropriate gap. Take this screw out, move it over, clamp it down. Shit. Move it over, clamp it down, drill a new hole, put a new screw. All of this has to come apart. Okay. You gotta sit there. Why are you being moved? Because I need this clamp to come across here. That's all. Okay. Yeah, I need to put that back over here. So let me get that set. Oh, first let's, oh shoot. Maybe I can come from over here. let's get this one first. I'm short on clamps, folks. Buy clamps whenever you can. This one appears is going to work for me. Cool, cool, cool. I'd love to have 3 or 4 of these. They're not that pricey. I believe they're $10-20, somewhere in the $10 to $20 range. But they're golden when you need them, just like right now. Here we go, starting to tighten up. Let's something to rest on over here. Alright, so now I want that corner lined up as exactly as possible with my 2-inch mark, which I'm very happy with. So now I'm pushing this against this as I tighten this clamp to hold it there. And I'm watching it to make sure that, yeah, this is tight. It's not slipping in and out or doing anything stupid. Okay. All right. So now again, what I do now is I take up screw number 1, move the table, take these out, move the table, move the fence to that marker, drill a new hole, put a new screw, do the process again. So get the screw out. I'll be getting the screw out. We'll be using the same screw, so I don't need any more screws. I like putting a little cup, clear cup like that. It's really neat to have all your loose bits and ends. I left that one there for now because I'm going to put it back on before I cut. Okay, push the button out. Find the screw. That's why it's nice. I have these marks here so I know where to look. There we go. Bring this little fella out. Ooh, I didn't clamp it. Oh, okay. Alright, so here's my screw. Here's my unscrewer. Now I gotta get this out of here. See how easy it moves? And that's what I gotta be careful of. I should clamp this before. Oh, you know what? I think I can with a regular C-clamp. I think, no. Look at that, not quite deep enough. No, ooh, damn it, not quite deep enough. Shit. Okay. What do I have? Are these deep enough? Not really. Gosh. It's not really deep enough. But you know what? I'm silly enough to try it. Let's try it. And see how it's right on the edge there? It's not really a good clamp. But might have just enough bite. Okay, I'm pushing that way as I'm tightening this little guy. Now when you're right on the edge of something like that, it tends to see that it's trying to jump off. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's why I did this whole silly bar thing. Shit. One reason I should have had it this way a little further. Alright, and not seeing a way to do this. This is my deepest clamp. Same as the C clamp. Oh,